Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
I wish I was Tom Cruise. I wish I had the Tom Cruise focus. Mm-hmm. Could compartmentalize everything all the time like he does.
Does he? I feel like he has handlers. He's always had handlers.
Yeah. Well, I want those too.
You mean like Siegfried and Roy were lion handlers?
No, like Chelsea.
Chelsea handler. Solid. That's why people need to go to the Chuckle Hut in L.A. to see.
In L.A.
with Rick Ross.
Good heroin. Dave Ross.
Oh.
That's I think that has already happened. Let's see, this is May 11th. That happened like last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I fucking killed.
People are still talking about it.
I can't believe they gave you the Oscar for Best Comedian.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me to do an extra 10 minutes. They said, keep going. Mm-hmm. You're so fucking funny.
Stay up there, kid.
Can you do a song now? I did an acapella.
Acapella.
Damn it.
I did Hunger the Dog, and I did both parts.
It's called Temple of the Dog, but
Hunger Strike, Temple of the Dog.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they loved it.
I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry.
Yeah. That song was weirdly popular, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't mind stealing bread from the mouth of decadence.
It's uncanny. I can see why you got a standing ovation.
Well, I can do a thing where I sing both parts at the same time using circular breathing. Mm-hmm. I'm in podcast mode, though.
Obviously.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, that's the Tibetan monk thing, right? Don't they do that? That's where they.
I think I showed them that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called throat singing.
But it doesn't require circular breathing?
Probably, I don't know. The song is called Hunger Strike, and it hit number 4 on the U.S. mainstream rock charts.
How did it do in the UK? Can you tell us that?
It hit number 51.
Oh.
Not as good.
More discerning listener in the UK.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, are they listening to Jarvis Cocker?
I'm sorry, but I don't get that reference, Michael.
Pulp. He had this song, Common People.
Is that like Blur? Are they the same band as Blur?
Did William Shatner do a better Blur song than Blur did?
Not Blur. Pulp.
But Pulp and Blur are the same band,
yes,
right?
I prefer the William Shatner version, which I'm sure a lot of UK people would be mad at me for saying that. But I think William Shatner gave it like a gravitas.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think it's great. I know it's considered like a novelty song, but him doing it's really good.
Yeah.
Let's play some Common People by William Shatner now. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Mark's not going to do that. Mark's probably still mad about last week. So he's got a temper.
He does.
What am I mad about?
Oh, shit.
You hear how passive aggressive that was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like he's going to make us say it. No, tell me. What am I mad about? Tell me.
No, you tell me.
Yeah, tell me. What am I mad at?
I was so mad about it, I can't remember.
Yeah, blazing anger just reduced his memories to ash.
Help me out. My memory's a little fuzzy here. Help me out. What am I so mad about?
Hey, you tell me. Why? Hey, am I, what's the opposite of a clown? A guy who's angry all the time. What am I, a construction worker to you?
Are construction workers angry all the time?
Oh, famously.
I didn't think that was. I knew they objectified women by whistling at them all the time. I know that was a big construction worker.
And that's why
thing.
I couldn't be a construction worker.
That's in the job interview.
Can't whistle?
It's because I can't whistle.
You'll ogle and harass all day long, but if you got a whistle to do it.
I mean, seriously, I can't whistle. I'm going to try it right now.
You really can't whistle?
I can't whistle right.
I think my
weird.
lips are too fucked up.
I'm a great whistler. Some would say I was born to whistle.
Whoa.
Whistler, of course, the name of the character portrayed by who's Sunday morning coming down? Not Johnny Cash, but
Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson.
Oh, okay.
Whistler, Chris Christopherson's character's name in Blade 2.
That took a
That
long
was
time.
elaborate just to get to that.
You know what? It was worth it, though. I think the listener can agree. Really worth it.
Well, because they were all screaming Blade at the radio. They just tuned in and they were just screaming like, Mike, it's Blade, it's Blade, hoping you would come up with it.
They probably don't
Right.
listen to this on the radio since it's not broadcast over the radio anywhere.
Well, that's the only way they can hear it, Kevin. The Venn diagram perfectly overlaps between our multitudes of listeners and people who love the movie Blade. Like it's the exact,
maybe, but they're not listening on the radio.
same group.
Yeah, listening through the
they
radio. I mean, I listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts on my radio on the way on my drive time, my morning drive time.
Right.
After I'm done listening to Ron Chapman and Susie Humphreys.
That's right. The KVI helicopter.
The KVI helicopter. I'm getting all those details, but
Yeah,
You do know we're not morning zoo crew, right?
No, I mean we might be on FM and not AM, but we're.
No.
I mean,
we talk about zoos. We've had a number of stories about zoos.
we have.
The Marvin Gaye impersonator who sang to the monkeys to get them to mate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had his corpse with him.
Maybe he was going to throw it in the monkey mulcher.
That was last week. Nobody knows what we're talking about anymore.
If you want monkeys to copulate, you have to threaten them with mulching.
That was last week, and a lot's happened in a week.
Well, you want to hear? We can get to the news and talk about.
Well, listen. Let me say just from last week, we had some problems with the monkey mulcher.
Okay. Like what kind of problems?
There's been a recall. Listen, I know a lot of people bought them last week. We moved a lot of product in the last week. There's been a recall in that some of the monkey mulchers were catching on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple springs that on some, not all, but some of the monkey mulchers, because it's moving that blade so fast,
Right.
the blades would shoot out. So some people.
How many 3-year-olds have lost their hands, Mike? I think that's the ultimate question.
Well, no, but listen,
Or 93-year-olds?
Yeah, but well, the thing is, it specifically says on there, you shouldn't be probably. It should be under probably adult supervision.
Probably.
If you're 3.
Right.
They're not for everybody.
3-year-olds famous for reading. That's
I mean,
a skill they've all developed.
who's buying a fucking $800 blender for their kid?
You encourage them to take their parents' credit cards and buy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's part of your marketing.
That's not what he said. He said, send me your parents' credit card numbers.
I said that. Yeah,
Right.
I wasn't necessarily going to send them. That was for a different thing.
When your marketing pitch starts with "Hey kids," I think you're the only one who's to blame.
David Letterman used to always go like, "Hey kids, there you go. Hey kids," and they were all adults in that audience, and he knew
Are
it.
you eating?
Yeah, why are you eating on camera and microphone? And you trying to make sound effects?
I've got evidence, quote unquote evidence, of some products that was made with the monkey mulcher. Some of the root that I was talking about that we use in the monkey mind mulch is now FDA's being a fucking bunch of goddamn babies about it. So they say it's illegal and that it can cause death in a certain group of people.
Living people? Are they most at risk of death from the monkey mulcher?
Just anyone who's basically anybody who's a beta.
That's right.
So I'm trying to eat up all this stuff before it becomes a thing.
Okay.
They want to test it and they want to see what's in it. Sure. I'm not worried about what's in it. The fucking the ancient Babylonians that were eating it every day, they didn't worry about what's in it. This is old world stuff back when men were men.
So, you guys ready to get started with the news here? Well, Mike
We're
eats.
ready and willing.
Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Camp.
I'm Mike Wiebe. And for the very first time in over 60 weeks, we have Mark Ryan.
Hey there, everybody.
Oh, hello, Mark. How are you?
Hello, sir.
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
There we go.
That felt nice and authentic.
Genuine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Yes,
Genuine.
very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
See, I guess I'm the one who said the wrong thing this time. So yeah, I'm getting a little taste of what I think Mike deals with on a daily basis right now. So
Yeah.
It's not easy.
it is not. It is not. It's chilling almost. The look is chilling, right? Because there's a lot of promise in that look. A lot of promise of
Daggers.
what's to come, daggers and what's to come, and
Metaphorical and real.
Mm-hmm.
Did get a switchblade recently.
God damn. See?
Okay.
That's classic Mark threat.
Was that?
Right?
Yeah. Was
Just
that,
as casual,
yeah.
like, I got a switchblade.
It's not overt.
No,
It's
Yeah.
it's I got a switchblade.
not actually. There's nothing I can do about it, right?
Where did you happen to buy that switchblade?
House of Blades.
Mm.
Holy shit! Do you know Whistler?
You've been to the House
Not
of
what?
Blade?
Do you know Chris Christopherson?
You know the Daywalker?
He was behind the counter. He's the one who sold it.
I got it from Steven Dorff. Yeah, I got a switchblade.
Wait, are you talking about the little short guy that plays golf?
The guy from Space Truckers.
Oh yes.
Who inflicted that on us? Was that a?
I think that was on me. I'm
Was you?
sorry. I heard it
Yeah.
was good. I heard it was.
Yeah, it's-
Just for the record, the director of Reanimator, which is a great movie,
Mhm.
made a movie called Space Truckers with Dennis Hopper for
That
like
was the same
40
guy.
Yeah, for like
Mhm.
$40 million, and it's goddamn awful.
How
Man,
could he
it's
do
bad.
something good and so bad?
I don't know.
Like that seems weird. Like I could see like something not like it was a miss. but-
people can do good and bad things. Look at Charles Manson.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Garbage Truck's a really good song, or Garbage Dump,
Great
rather.
song. It's a great song.
He was a lyrical genius.
So, our first story comes to us from Indy 100.
Oh, the 100th independent newspaper.
It's part of the independent newspaper. The moon controls a number of things that make the Earth unique.
I think there's a lot of Miles in England. There's like Miles McGillicuddy. Miles O'Toole.
I think those are Irish names, right?
Are there any
Yeah,
other,
but they live in England.
are there any Miles over there who might be a little overweight with a big bushy mustache?
Miles Standish it is.
Hey, this is weird. Are we hearing a story from the UK that is not from the Bad Boys Club?
We don't have any Bad Boys Club stories this week. Not yet. I mean, there could be some breaking news we got to break in with, but
Well,
That's
as of now,
that's a BBC story. Breaking Bad Boys Club.
oh, well, I know that the whole team's watching The Wire right now to see what
Yeah.
comes.
right.
Watching the ticker tape to see what comes through on the cable.
So the moon controls a number of things that make the Earth unique. It raises and lowers the ocean tides, alters the Earth's tilt, and of course, it has.
And of course, the Nazis live in the middle of it.
and the Nazis live in the middle of it, and of course, it has a direct impact on the weather.
Now, Kevin, is this just a theory, or are you saying this is science fact? Do we know this is true?
I mean, it's all theory. Science doesn't
Okay.
really have fact.
So you're just
It's
guessing
all
right now.
theory. No. It's supported by very strong evidence, and it is the best available explanation for that evidence for now.
The tides are just from when God filled the ocean and the water's just sloshing around still, I think.
Or the water always sloshes towards where the moon is at any
But
given.
doesn't it also have to do the moon with lady period blood?
You'll have to take that up with your wart charmer.
Yeah.
The sea hag?
Yes, the sea hag.
She would know, and her army of goons.
Yeah.
They're all ladies.
Recently unearthed papers of Dr. Alexander Abian, a mathematics professor at Iowa State University, reveal a new plan to destroy the moon.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah, finally.
Apparently, Dr. Abian was a proponent of the moonless Earth theory, which states that the moonless Earth wouldn't wobble, which would eliminate the seasons and extreme weather events like heat waves, snowstorms, and hurricanes. To accomplish this, the professor urged governments to drill a hole in the moon, stuff it with an atomic bomb, then detonate it by remote control, and he defended himself by writing, quote, "Those critics who say dismiss Abian's ideas are very close to those who dismissed Galileo."
This is my favorite subject of a news story we have ever had.
What is that, Brian?
This guy, the guy who wants to blow the moon up. He wrote a fucking paper. This is, I like this a lot. Thank you for bringing this story to our attention.
I love that this is a Mr. Show sketch made real.
It's so good.
So, nevertheless, staff at NASA examined the plan and observed that Earth's entire nuclear arsenal would be unlikely to even crack the moon's crust. And even if it did blow up the moon, Earth's atmosphere would be heated by a hail of falling lunar debris, which would ultimately destroy all life. And last, the moon actually stabilizes the wobble of the Earth, so removing it would lead to more wobble and more extreme weather.
God, they are working so hard to discredit him. I mean, see what I mean? Like, see how hard they're working at this?
Yeah, NASA doth protest too much.
Mm-hmm. And it's just made of fucking cheese. How many nuclear bombs would it take to blow it up?
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, all the moon debris would just burn up into the atmosphere.
Right. And we'd have a lot of queso to eat for a while, probably.
Yeah,
and also that's a good thing.
If you're worried about the debris, then just blow it up when it's rounding the corner, and then it'll just shoot off into space.
Right.
Have none of y'all watched Thundar before?
Oh, this is true.
Oh, that's true. I did.
The Barbarian?
Well, they didn't destroy the moon so much as a comet traveled between Earth and the moon.
I'm going to be bummed to live in a world with Ookla the Mock.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. Those guys. What are they called?
I'll fucking hang out with the Herculoids all goddamn day. Gleep and Glorp?
Gleep and Glorp. That's what it is. Those guys are fucking great.
Man,
didn't he have what was the deal with his bracelet? He had a cool sword. What was his sword? What did his sword
we're
work?
mixing up things. There's the Herculoids and then Thundar.
Right.
No.
Herculoids had two like blobs, and then there was a Tyrannosaurus Rex that had 6 feet, and he could shoot. And he had horns. He could shoot fucking rocks out of his horns.
No, there was a Triceratops rhinoceros that could shoot like.
That's what I was talking about. Triceratops, and then there was a flying thingamabob that could shoot lasers, and then there was just like a rock guy. Like a big kind of rock dude.
Yeah.
Now, Thundar rolled around with Ookla the Mock, who was a shameless ripoff of Chewbacca, and a real hot naked lady that was a magic user.
What was her name?
Ariel.
Yeah. And then, Thundar had the hilt of a sword, I believe,
the sun sword
would like connected to his wrist, and he'd pull it off, and the blade was like laser kind of stuff.
And what would he say when he swung the sword? He would hit a battle cry.
He'd go, "Fuck you, bitch."
That wasn't it.
Thundar was superior to the Herculoids, I think, though, right?
Yeah.
I think, it was more. Yeah, there was a lot more. It was. Herculoids is a little bit more for the kids.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, it was all Hanna-Barbera.
Both of them were.
Thundar was Ruby Spears.
What's Ruby Spears?
It's an animation company in the 80s.
No, man, Thundar? That had to be fucking. Are you thinking of Ruby Soho, that Rancid song? Because Tim Armstrong does kind of feel like he could be. He kind of talks like Ookla the Mock.
Ruby and Spears started out as sound editors, branched into story writing for Space Ghost and Herculoids, and then went and did their own thing, which is Ruby Spears Enterprises.
What'd they do besides Thundar?
The Police Academy, the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
The Pigsburg Pigs. Shit. Mr. T?
I remember Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T and T-Force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ruby Spears' superior company.
The Hanna-Barbera?
Oh, shit. Rubik the Amazing Cube.
I remember Rubik the Amazing Cube.
I don't remember Rubik the Amazing Cube.
He was a talking Rubik's Cube, and when you got him correct, he could do mad. I mean, it's Americana.
Genius.
There's no.
Oh, I've never heard of Coca-Cola. I've never heard of apple pie.
There's no reason to get mad.
A cheeseburger? What is that?
Not everybody lives their life through the television set, Michael.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
I think Mark introduced me to Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, what, did you not have a childhood?
No, I think I saw the Herculoids when I was a kid because of Gleep and Glory. But I don't think I remember Thundar that well.
Damn.
But I think they both use the same sound for a laser.
Maybe. That's possible. Well, same sound editor.
Right.
As we just read.
Yeah, they had a... I think it's the same sounds for a laser for most cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Mark, you know what? I'm going to try it. I don't think he's going to play a song for us, but maybe he can find a laser sound for us and insert it somewhere into this.
Hold on.
I do love that sound.
What is this story about again?
It might be funnier if he doesn't do it now. Oh,
yeah. What is this about cool cartoons?
What kind of a guy blowing up the moon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because on Thundar, when they blow, the moon is cracked in half.
Yeah, because a comet passed between Earth and the moon, and then took
cracked the
Earth
moon,
and the moon's atmosphere with it.
Yeah,
and that cracked
whoa.
the moon.
It couldn't take the atmosphere. That's too much.
No, that's how Thundar works.
This all seemed very real to me until you said,
no, it cracked the moon.
The moon doesn't have much of an atmosphere.
It fucked everything all up, and it put us into a new,
cooler Earth.
I thought it was a hotter Earth.
Was it an age of science and magic?
Yes. Yeah, an age of science and magic. Yeah,
right.
Which we're basically
Mark.
Super science.
Okay.
Oh,
super science. So you got it's the whole gamut. You got robots, you got magic, you got dinosaurs, you got Ookla the Mox, you got sun swords.
Are there a lot of warlocks?
No, a lot of evil sorcerers.
A lot of evil sorcerers. I want to say, isn't one of them from our time? Is the girl from our time? Or somebody from our time?
I think she was from our time.
No.
What, like Land of the Lost?
Travel back to our time at some point.
No, they don't.
Yeah, there's a time travel episode.
Really?
There's an episode where they discover some people who are frozen from our time period and then wake them up and then talk to them.
I swear that they travel back
to...
to...
so happy that Mark is the expert on the Thundar the Barbarian.
It's a cool concept. Somebody should make a feature-length movie or an Amazon Prime show. Not Netflix, because I don't want them to make it on Netflix, because I want it to not fucking suck. Because Netflix sucks.
So our next story comes to us from Hull Daily Mail, which is a newspaper for Kingston upon Hull in Yorkshire, England.
Oh yeah, I've got a subscription.
This is the second British story.
No, the last story was about a professor in Iowa. This story is...
Did you bring us a British paper with a story on Iowa?
Well, the Independent, they got branches in the U.S.
on here. It's just
I think the Des Moines Register just got their feelings hurt.
I hope they goddamn did.
You just have your Google alerts for anything about Iowa.
That is, I like the Iowa news.
We caught on to Ohio, so now you turned it into Iowa. Only 4-lettered states.
Well, this story is in Yorkshire.
Oh, home of the Terriers.
I'm not going to argue.
A 37-year-old gardener in Bexhill, England, was digging holes in his garden when he noticed a crow was following him around.
What do you mean he was digging holes in his garden? Was he planting things?
It just said he was digging holes. That's what the paper said.
Holes.
That what was it? The Hull Daily Mail said he was digging holes.
Classic. The BBC would have been a little more descriptive because the bad boys know how to get it done.
He said the crow followed him for a while and he believed they'd formed a friendship. But then the man rolled a cigarette and the crow grabbed it out of his hands. He offered the crow a light, which the crow accepted and seemed to begin smoking the cigarette. After that, the two bonded, with the crow, now named Craig, constantly... with the crow, now named Craig, constantly bringing the man cigarette butts and other cigarettes it had stolen, and the man offering an occasional fresh cigarette to Craig. This went on for some time, with the man taking more than 6,000 pictures of Craig, but since October, Craig has been missing. The man worries that Craig's cigarette habit may have ultimately led to his death. In tribute, the man has made a Twitter for Craig, and he's turning the 6,000 pictures he took of Craig into a collection of NFT artwork. The man said he hopes to use the profits from the sale of NFTs to fund, quote, the best BDSM venue in the UK.
Wait, this just took a fucking turn.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
And let me say this too, because I was gonna say this, but it was too like I was like, oh, that's too crass. But right when you're like, oh, he took 600 pictures of the crow, I was about to go like,
6,000.
That guy's fucking that crow. Yeah, I was about to say that guy's fucking that crow. And then I thought, no, that's not Mike. You don't need to have your head like that.
No, it's never stopped you before.
Well, I was about to make a new change in my life and be less cynical. But guess what? I'm cynical still because that guy's fucking that crow. He fucked that crow. He probably fucked the crow to death.
Oh man, that's sad.
And now he's like, oh, I was fucking smoked too much cigarettes.
Does he wear like really high rubber boots when he's gardening?
He didn't show his boots.
I bet he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he owns a lot of things that are made of rubber.
Like he wears that and a Paddington hat.
He wears the fucking boots, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. He just goes from hedgerow to hedgerow.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, I don't know.
Not just any BDSM venue, the best BDSM venue.
No. What are the keys to making it better than another?
Apparently,
BDSM?
6,000 crow NFTs.
Well, have we found the auction for these 6,000 photos?
It wasn't up yet.
Yeah. Do you have to subscribe to his OnlyFans?
Maybe.
It's a collage of 6,000 photos that if you stand back from, it's just him giving it to a crow.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I've said before, I would like to be friends with a crow.
Yeah, you have said that.
I have said that before. Yeah, I would love a crow to be friends with. And they're probably the one bird that I would let freely kind of in and out, I think, of the house. Maybe an owl. I don't think an owl wants to come inside, though. But
if it did, you would let the owl in.
Yeah, if there was an owl, if there was a connection made with an owl, that would be cool. Yeah. An owl, a crow, and I think that's it.
I'd let a woodpecker in.
Man, that'd be annoying. Woodpeckers are annoying. That shit's loud.
Well, yeah, but I don't have wood filled with bug larvae.
They'll
in my
find
house.
wood.
No, but they'll leave and come back. He'll stay in the house for safety, and he'll have lots of shenanigans and just laugh and stuff. And I got that walrus next door that'll want to fight all the time.
Well, yeah, I guess I could see that. Woodpeckers, they really do like to peck wood. It's in their DNA. And
yeah, it is. But they don't not for no reason.
They're fucking loud. It's annoying.
I like the sound. It's the sound of industry.
Industry, big and bold.
The sound of hijinks.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the biggest problem is you can't have a barbecue if a woodpecker's around because it's gonna cause some trouble.
That's probably true.
I don't remember anything that happened in a Woody Woodpecker cartoon.
That's really all that I remember. Is Mr. Walrus was going to have a barbecue. He was just a nice guy.
His name's Mr. Walrus? Or is it Wally Walrus?
Oh, it is Wally. Wally Walrus was going to have... He's just a nice guy, going to have a little barbecue by himself. And Woody Woodpecker, that wasn't good enough for him. He had to get involved, screw the whole thing up, and then make it look like Mr. Walrus... I'm sorry, Wally Walrus was the problem. We know who the real problem was.
Mm-mm. I think Woody Woodpecker is one of those cartoons where there's like 4 versions of him through the years.
Yeah. So like
he changes enough that he's almost, Daffy Duck changes a little bit. Droopy, there's some really good Droopy cartoons.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't that great.
But I stand by the good Droopy.
Any Droopy where he's a sheep herder is always good.
I mean, Daffy has the most radical personality shift in that he went from just a completely insane, just maniac to just like a full-on dickhead. And I like both. I like both Daffys equally.
Mm-hmm.
I like a real asshole Daffy as well as a grumpy asshole Daffy, as well as a insane Looney Tune, a literal Looney Tune.
I would have preferred they kept early Daffy and shift Bugs over to later Daffy.
Oh, Bugs became a dick?
Yeah, because early Daffy was great. Nothing came and took his place, right? There wasn't another.
Early Daffy
really
was a dicky winner, where later Daffy.
No, early Daffy was just insane. Early Daffy was just like, blah, just like completely.
But he always kind of won at the end, where later Daffy always lost.
Well, later Daffy was just a self-serious, egotistical dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Daffy Duck is short for Daffodil Duck?
I don't think that's true. Is it true? I could see that being true.
Pretty sure it's just short for Daffy, the word.
Well, because I specifically remember an episode, I think it's a Marvin the Martian episode that involved Daffy.
That's a good one.
Where he got turned, where something happened and he got flower petals around his head.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I think he got shot with something. Is that a repeating gag?
Yeah, but the thing he got shot with was actually a COVID vaccine. And that's what did it to him.
So our next story comes to us from Sora News 24, a Japanese news site.
Sora News, like about Lord of the Rings?
Sora.
The fucking giant eyeball that also looks like a vagina?
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
One of the legends of the first potato chip comes from 1953 in Saratoga Springs, New York, where supposedly a patron at a restaurant kept sending his French fries back to the chef because they were too soggy. The annoyed chef finally decided to play a prank on the patron by cutting super thin slices of potato, frying them to a crisp, and then seasoning them with extra salt. And supposedly, the potato chip was born. Or, as they call them in England, potato crisps.
This isn't true.
It's probably not true because the first potato chip recipe published was in, I think, the 1810s.
Yeah, I was about to say the 1810, and then there's all those drawings on the fucking well, that's the first published one, but then there's the hieroglyphs in the tomb of Tutankhamun.
I don't think they didn't have potatoes in the New World.
The Child King. The Child King.
Egyptians didn't have potatoes.
The Child King.
Really? They didn't have potatoes. Egyptians didn't have potatoes.
I'm pretty sure they had
potatoes. From the
potatoes.
New World in Polynesia.
They had yams.
No, those are from Polynesia.
But I think early Egyptians traveled to the New World and brought back the potato.
Yep, they had tubers.
Mm-hmm. And they flooded the Nile and then built pyramids for shade.
That's how they flood the Nile. Is they used potatoes and they stacked up potatoes.
Yeah, they didn't know you could eat them until one of them, in a fit of pique, sliced the potato up in small pieces to sacrifice to its gods, Horus and Osiris, and dropped those in a fire.
Just for the listener, that didn't happen at all.
That is exactly what happened.
It is. And they used and the first mashed potato was created when they got a camel to step on a hot potato and mash it.
They were worried the hot potato was going to start a fire.
Yeah.
And so they got a camel to quickly.
They didn't want all that forest to burn down.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happened to most of the forest. That's why it's a desert now. There's so many hot potatoes burnt down. And finally, they realized they needed to start stepping on them.
And the game hot potato was made back when, because, it gets so hot there. The potatoes would get so hot that it would burn your hands off. And it was a torture thing that they would put people, thieves and other such, and Christians.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have Christians in ancient Egypt. They had Jews.
Well, no, they killed all of them.
Okay, so Indiana Jones wasn't Christian.
Come on, Kevin.
Regardless, that patron who kept having the soggy potatoes and wanted something crisp, he may not be very happy with Japan's leading potato chip maker, which is changing the game entirely by taking the crunch out of potato chips with a new product called Nure Jaga, which translates to wet potato. These new wet potato chips are intentionally moist, and they were available at 7-Elevens throughout Japan, though many locations report they sold out quickly.
Hey, you guys told me 7-Eleven's big in Japan, right?
Yes, when we talked
that's where they get their fried chicken, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for
We
Christmas.
got a lot of 7-Elevens over there.
A reporter who tried a bag said they are moist to the touch and made her fingers sticky. She said...
What? I wasn't going to say anything at all.
Oh, Mike.
She said biting into one was soft and juicy on the outside and crispy on the inside. Since we can't get these in the rest of the world, the reporter tried to simulate the recipe. She laid out regular chips, ladled soy sauce over them, and then microwaved them for a few seconds. The reporter then confirmed that her homemade wet chips were remarkably similar to the ones she bought at the store. Apparently, this isn't the first product like this in Japan, which has snack chips called Nure Senbai, or wet rice crackers that have been sold since 1963.
So Nure means wet in Japanese.
What snack chips do you think would be better wet?
Twinkies.
Wet.
Just dripping Twinkies?
I like the idea, but when you said soy sauce on potatoes, that sounds pretty good, actually.
On potato chips, yeah.
Or just potatoes in general, like a hot potato,
so much damn salt, though, man.
That's what's good about it. And I love salt.
Salt is good.
It is not good for you.
Well,
since when?
I think for a long time.
Is it real bad for you? Because I like salt a lot. I always thought that was that's an older guy thing that you got to worry about is too much salt.
I mean, everyone, I think in America, it's very easy to consume too much salt.
Yeah, pretty much every time you eat out, it's just like they might as well just give you a giant salt lick, and then deer come up and start licking it, and I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I think salt's one of those things that if you're not a vegetarian, you probably get enough salt just by eating meat, and you really don't need salt in anything else. But it does taste good. I eat way too much. I put soy sauce on all kinds of stuff. I marinate chicken in soy sauce sometimes.
That's
right,
best.
listeners. It is good, isn't it?
How do I find out if I'm eating too much salt? Who do I got to talk to?
I mean, just assume you are.
Yeah.
Like, just look. Anytime you eat anything that has a label on it, I guarantee it has like almost all the salt you're supposed to eat for that day.
Yeah.
I hate how much I have to read about what I'm eating now.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. This is compelling.
The only
news.
thing I want to read is classic erotica, and here I am turning every fucking bottle around to stare at what's on it.
So our next story is a bonus story.
Bonus.
If you want to listen to this, go to our Patreon and subscribe at least the $3 level. That's the Knights of Kevin level.
That's nothing.
And you'll have access to this story and every other story that we've done as a bonus story.
Yes.
Which is, I think,
going all the way back to 1991.
That's not true. But anyway, I will.
Years ago, a lot of time ago.
I'll give you a little taste. It much like the Crow story, it deals with porn and NFTs.
Ooh, N-Dub's gonna have something to say about that.
This may be the spiciest story we have ever done.
I can't wait to hear what Mike says about this one.
I know those are my two favorite subjects. My major and my minor.
Which one was the major? Which one was the minor?
Well, we'll have to listen to the story to find out.
So this episode drops on May 11th. Does anybody have anything coming up?
May 11th.
May 22nd. I'm doing the Glow Show. It's a comedy show at the brand new Cap City Comedy Club.
Is that here in Austin?
In Austin, Texas.
Oh, wow.
Right there in Austin, Texas. I'll be telling. It's the 22nd anniversary. Or no, it's May 22nd. It's the anniversary show. I think it's the 3rd or 5th anniversary. But it's real fun. They deck everything out like it's a crazy rave. And I'll be doing my beloved characters, the McEwens. Me and Avery Moore will be doing that.
In Phoenix?
No, in Austin, Texas.
I meant the character Phoenix. Your beloved character Phoenix.
Well, no, not. I wish. That's not me. That Phoenix is a real person. Is a real thing.
Right. So, Mark, do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, I've got a show at Texas Theater on May 27th, Vidicon, and we're playing with their abbreviations, and we're playing after the movie Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Damn, it sounds like a
smog
hit.
monster.
That sounds fun.
Smog monster.
So that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. The healthiest thing you can get your wildlife friends addicted to is INS, so be sure to tell them all about us. Check out the INS merch store at Redbubble and our Patreon. We'll see you next week.
Pizza.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.